The Hajj is considered to be one of the 5 pillars of Islam, those core practices that are compulsory for every Muslim. To summarise, they are the Shahada, sincerely reciting the Muslim profession of faith; the Salat, performing ritual prayers in the proper way 5 times each day; the Zakat, the giving of alms or charity to benefit the poor and the needy; the Sawm, fasting during the month of Ramadan; and the Hajj, a compulsory pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in your life, if at all possible. Now, while the idea of pilgrimage was also well known to Christians, for the most part this entailed travel to nearby shrines or churches, and rarely outside the European feudal estates that most commoners were bound to as serfs. An equivalent Christian pilgrimage to Jerusalem or other holy sites in the Levant was a pipe dream to all but the wealthiest nobles, and even then there was no organised system in place to facilitate it, because to the Christians, pilgrimage was a purely voluntary and personal choice. The Islamic world, on the other hand, commonly referred to in Arabic as the Dar al-Islam, was, during medieval times, a hugely interconnected empire that stretched from West Africa all the way to Java. Despite the internal feuds, civil wars and dynastic upheavals, the compulsory nature of the Hajj meant that rulers throughout all Muslim lands were duty-bound to provide accommodation, food, protection and economic assistance to pilgrims as part of their own sacred duty. To that end, they frequently sponsored colleges, known as madrasas, which provided dormitories, mess halls, as well as pastoral and healthcare for pilgrims, at distances that made efficient travelling possible. Nevertheless, much like anywhere else at the time, the countryside was often crawling with bandits and rebellious warlords, so pilgrims typically sought safety in numbers between stops by joining the long caravans of merchants that plied their way across well-established trade routes from Africa to India and beyond.